This is the OBSBOT Tiny 3 Lite, a 4K AI-powered webcam that appears to have more features than any webcam I've seen before. This thing has 3 different built-in microphones, voice and gesture controls, can run 4K at 30 FPS or 1080 at 120, a dual-axis gimbal which allows for motion tracking of people, hands, objects, or even dogs, AI features that creepily stop you from breaking eye contact with the camera, or it can even turn you into an anime cat girl. And that's really just scratching the surface. Now, I'm fortunate enough that OBSBOT sent this one out to me to review for free, but these premium features do normally come with a very premium price tag, as this is a near £200 webcam. So if you're on the fence as to whether or not you need a webcam with all of these features, either for streaming on Twitch or for your daily Zoom calls, then stick around, as there are some really cool features here, but there are also a couple of gotchas that you really need to be aware of. Inside the box, we have the camera, a USB-C cable, and a USB-C to USB-A adapter. My first impressions was this thing actually looks and feels way more premium than I expected it to. It weighs 73 grams, is 2.3 inches tall and 1.6 inches wide, so it's fairly compact. I wouldn't want to carry this thing around in my work bag, as I'd be worried about scratching the lens, but I do think it looks really good on top of my monitor. Actually mounting it to the monitor is super easy too, as it has a built-in fold-out mount that easily hooks on top of the screen, or if you want something a bit more flexible, there's also a standard 1/4-inch tripod mount on the bottom. Unlike a normal webcam though, the Tiny 3 Lite is mounted on a fully motorized PTZ gimbal, so the camera can physically pan and tilt to track you as you move around the room. The gimbal's movement looks and feels really smooth with very little resistance, and I also really like the privacy features that the gimbal allows. When the camera isn't being used, it automatically tilts downward into a type of sleep mode, and then when it's needed again, it wakes up and reverts to its previous position, in addition to lighting up the LED strip under the lens so you know that it's in use. Overall, this definitely feels like a miniature production camera as opposed to a typical webcam. But hardware is only half the story here, because a lot of what makes the Tiny 3 Lite interesting actually happens inside the software. Whilst it is possible to use the Tiny 3 Lite without any extra software, it would essentially just act as a regular webcam. To really unlock its full potential, you need to install the OBSBOT Center App. Once it's installed, plug in the camera and it should automatically detect it. Then get ready to work your way around a slightly complicated set of menus. Now, there are a lot of features in this app, so I'm going to dive a little deeper into some of the more interesting ones in just a moment. But to give you a general overview, this is where we can manually control the camera, we can configure the AI tracking features, change zoom or speed levels, change audio modes, enable the teleprompter, enable gestures and voice controls, virtually recreate or redesign your face, and of course, turn yourself into an anime cat girl. It's probably worth noting that if you do not have the OBSBOT Center app installed, then you won't be able to use any of these advanced features. It has to be installed and running on the same device that the camera is connected to. For some, this might be a deal breaker. If you're a business person working on a corporate device, then I know a lot of company IT departments won't allow for this kind of software to be installed, in which case you may be better off just picking up something cheaper. Otherwise, if you can install whatever you like, then this is probably a non-issue. Like I said though, I'll put these features to the test in just a moment, but before I do, let's quickly cover off the image and audio quality. The OBSBOT Tiny 3 Lite has a 1/2-inch CMOS sensor with stacked Exmor RS architecture, quad Bayer coding, and HDR algorithm. Now, that's an awful lot of jargon, which honestly went a little over my head too. So instead of me doing a poor job trying to explain it to you, I'll pop OBSBOT's explanation as to why this stuff is great on the screen here for you to take a proper look at. The Connor GPT summary though is that all of this tech combined makes for one of the cleanest and brightest images I've probably ever seen on a webcam before. Take a look at this side-by-side comparison with my old webcam, for example. In addition to the overall image clarity being good, this camera works incredibly well in low light conditions. In this shot, the curtains in my room are almost completely closed and the lights are off with only a tiny bit of light coming through. Still a little grainy, but far better than most. Features like autofocus, auto white balance, HDR, and anti-flicker all go towards improving the visual quality as well. You also have the option of using either 4K resolution at 30 FPS, which is the default mode, or 1080p at 120 FPS. I can't think of many reasons why a webcam would need that kind of FPS, but honestly, there is a lot to this webcam that indicates it's really trying to be more of a content creator's tool than a typical day-to-day video device. Looking at the audio next, the Tiny 3 Lite is equipped with not just one, but 3 silicon MEMS microphones. One is omnidirectional in order to capture sound evenly from every direction, whilst the other 2 are directional and are designed to really lock into your voice to ensure maximum clarity. And clarity is important if you decide to use the voice locator or voice control features. If you do enable the voice locator mode, then the camera will literally try to detect where you are in the room and will then turn the camera towards the speaker. You can then use the voice control commands like zoom in closer or position 2 to control how the camera acts and where it points, without ever having to actually touch the camera itself. There are also 5 different audio modes that you can use. Pure audio mode, which means zero processing, studio grade capture for things like music recording, ASMR, or any form of post-production where you need full control of your audio. This is the mic in pure audio mode in an echoey room. Spatial audio mode, which is basically stereo recording with enhanced left and right separation, which is apparently great for things like vlogging. This is the mic in spatial audio mode in an echoey room. Smart Omni mode, which is an AI-powered 360-degree pickup mode that balances vocals and ambient sounds for meetings, group discussions, and multi-person streams where everyone is sat around the camera. This is the mic in Smart Omni mode in an echoey room. This is me walking around the mic in Smart Omni mode. Directional mode, which focuses on the voice in front of the camera while cutting out surrounding noises, which is great for solo presentations and podcasts in noisy spaces. This is the mic in directional mode in an echoey room. And dual directional mode, which can be used to capture audio from the front and rear while rejecting noises coming from the side. And this is apparently great for interviews, to-host podcasts, and face-to-face conversations. This is the mic in dual directional mode in an echoey room. And this is me behind the camera in dual directional mode. It's also worth mentioning that OBSBOT have a range of wireless microphones that can connect directly to the webcam itself. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is a test to show you how good the microphone sounds. Not only will this help improve the audio quality even further, but it also offers some remote control capabilities, allowing you to click the mic button to enable human tracking, zoom, or even begin recording. I have the OBSBOT Vox SE here, and I have to say it took me a ton of work to get this thing to actually connect to the camera. You're supposed to just hold the power button down for 6 seconds, and it should automatically connect. But after trying several times to get this thing to connect, I ended up upgrading and downgrading the camera's firmware a ton, and eventually it did just start to work. Also note that the wireless mics have no impact on the voice tracking, and it will still use the camera's built-in mic to track you down. Okay, so I've talked about what the camera can do in theory, but I think it's actually time to put it to the test. Starting with the AI tracking, I have to say I actually cannot believe how well it works. It's literally like having a little cameraman following you around the room. Single person tracking pretty much never lost me unless I intentionally tried to run off camera. Group tracking was really good at moving the camera around to make sure everybody remained in the shot. Object tracking took me a little while to understand, but you basically just drag a square around your object and the camera will do its best to track it. I even tried this on the dog and it seemed to work pretty well. I did have some trouble getting it to track my hands though, but after I turned off the auto zoom feature, it did a much better job of this, though it did still frequently lose tracking and often got confused as to which hand it was supposed to look at. The auto zoom works really well and actually zooms out as you get closer to the camera and zooms in as you get further away, though when it's at full zoom things do start to get a bit pixelated. Voice tracking took a couple of attempts to get working properly as well, but it was able to find me in my living room, which is a room that has quite a lot of echo. The gesture and voice controls also worked really well. You do have to hold the hand gestures for a moment or two to actually get them to work, but the voice commands were pretty quick to take effect. Finally, we have the beauty features, which allow you to whiten your teeth or remove the bags from under your eyes, or completely reconstruct your face to look like some sort of horrible walking abomination. Then of course you have the NVIDIA eye tracking, which allows you to maintain near permanent eye contact with the camera no matter where you look. And finally, the avatar mode, which allows you to choose and name a character, pick a scene and an item to hold, and then you can dance around the room like some sort of wiggly K-pop star, if that's what you want to do. So who is the OBSBOT Tiny 3 Lite actually for? If you're a businessman who uses a work device and you just want a high quality webcam, then I don't think this webcam is for you. You'd probably just be better off getting a high resolution webcam and saving yourself a ton of hassle that you would get with the app. Even if you could install the software on your work device, I have had countless issues getting a number of these features to even work. Things like eye tracking, which took multiple restarts and NVIDIA AR installations to work, or the 120 FPS slow motion recording, which seems to constantly output empty files. It was just a real pain that that took a lot of Googling to resolve. Now, if you're a streamer or a podcaster or even an online tutor, then I think there is a huge amount of value to be found in this webcam in spite of its difficulties. Features like motion tracking could add a whole new dimension to your streams. You no longer need to be confined to your desk chair. Your entire room could become your stage. Combine the motion tracking with hand gestures and the OBSBOT wireless mics, and you have yourself your own personal camera crew that can record, zoom, track, and more without ever needing to touch a camera. For casual users, this webcam is probably overkill, but for someone with a creative mind who likes to experiment with their camera angles and their audio, this could be a real game changer. Thanks again to OBSBOT for sending the Tiny 3 Lite out to me to review. I actually had a really good time making this video. I think this thing's a lot of fun, and I'll see you in the next one.